Hey guys, and today I'll be doing a premium OTT Susanoo deck profile. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the deck profile. So starting off, we do run 4 copies of Susanoo. He is the guide allows us to try going first. We run up to grade 3. Very powerful, it gives us 2 gift markers, and then both him and the first stride essentially allows us to deck fin 4 cards in total, because we look at the top 2, add 1 from him, and then at the end of that the stride attacks, you look at the top 2, add 1 and put on the bottom as well. So very good overall. Yeah, just a really great card. And even if you down him after your first stride, it's fine because you're naturally gaining advantage because of his on stride ability. So yeah, really good. Next we do have 3 copies of the Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu. So we're mainly searching for her from Calico. I'll show you what Calico does later on. But she's 2 effects. The first effect is that when she's revealed by a card effect, by the top card of your deck, and then one of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 crit until the end of turn. And then on the Vanguard and Regal Circle, when it attacks, you can discard a card from your hand, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, shoot up to 1 non-minion from among them, add it to your hand, and then rearrange the rest of the top of your deck in order. So she's really good at actually setting up defensive triggers, or maybe offensive triggers, depending on what we see from our top 3. Also, it's just a way just to have knowledge of what we're expecting to, I guess, like damage check or drive check, depending on where we use it. So, good grade 3. Next we do have 2 Reverence Rush Dragon, so really good card. So 1 really strong effect, which is when it's placed on a Rearguard Circle from hand, you can Soul Blast 1 and choose a grade 2 or greater card from your drop and put it on top of your deck. So you can put stuff like your heal guards on top of your deck, also a couple of like important combo pieces or important cards that we need in hand for the late stages of the game. So really good grade 3. And then we have 1 copy of Goddess of the Flower Divination Sakuya. So we're mainly using it for a second effect, which is when it is placed on Vanguard Circle, you can return all of your Oracle Think Tank regards to hand. So the reason why I run this card is that there are games where we will have to overuse our resources to survive the opponent's next turn, so that we can actually get to our next stride turn, which would hopefully be killing them at that stage. It's also good against, for example, like Mega Colony, where Mega Colony does stun your board with Gridora, and you can't stand them Golden Sea until the next turn. So having Sakuya just to be able to bounce your board back, so you can also then just recall yourself down, so kind of bypass Gridora is really great. But then lastly, it's because of the fact that there are games as well where when you are being pushed really hard, your hand size isn't going to be great. And a lot of your strides do require Oracle, so you need 5 cards in hand. If you have a full board, when you ride Sakuya, you have 5 cards in hand. So you will achieve Oracle. So that is why we run the 1 copy of Sakuya. And then lastly we run 1 copy of Bone Witch Popo. So this is the card that helps us close games in combination with Ichikishima. What she does is that when she attacks, if your deck has 10 or less cards until the end of the battle, this one gets plus 10,000 power, and your opponent can only call grade 0 cards from hand. So we will go over later on what the combo is, on how you can just do a very powerful guard restrict that can only be guarded with a Blitz Order. Okay, so into the grade 2s. First of all, we have 4 copies of Administrate Angel. So really strong grade 2. Has 2 effects. The first one is Vanguard and Regal Circle once per turn. When this unit attacks while boosted, you can counter +1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, and put any number of the remaining cards on the top of one of your deck in any order. And then its second skill, just kind of like all the other ones, which is on the hand on auto at the beginning of your ride phase. If your Vanguard is grade 1 or less, you can discard this card, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 or less card from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. For its first skill, many use it for the fact that it can help set up defensives, it can also help set up some offensive triggers as well. So really great grade 2 to have, especially when you're riding up on grade 2. If you do get them, you have there's a good chance you could set up a defensive trigger, so that on the opponent's turn, hitting that defensive trigger makes your Vanguard a 19k base. If you have a heal guard, for example, your Vanguard suddenly becomes 29, and that can honestly sometimes just even shut down the opponent's turn. So just overall a really good card, just for the fact that it allows us to have knowledge of what's on top of our deck and kind of stack it and rearrange it so that we can tank a lot of attacks depending on what we have set up. So yeah, great tool. Next we have 3 copies of Miko the Round Moon Fuyo. There is 1 skill, which is when it's placed on Vanguard or Regal Circle, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, choose a normal unit from your drop, and put it on the top of your deck. If your opponent's Vanguard is greater or greater, you may put that card in Soul instead. So this card's a really great way of reusing some of our regards we need to use over again. So we have a couple of unplaced cards, again like the Reverence Trust for example we saw, then also another Grade 2 coming up, and a few other one-offs around the deck, just to have access to them when we have them at drop, and just essentially reuse them is really good. So that's why I run 3 copies of Fuyo. Next, we run 3 copies of Durang. This is the Grade 2 I was talking about in regards to what we can stack with Fuyo. So when it's just placed on Regard, if your Vanguard has only 1 clan, you can Soul Blast 1 and discard a card from your hand. Choose a card with only the same clan as your Vanguard's clan from your drop and put it into hand. So essentially this allows us to have access to all our Oregon Think Tank cards from our drop when they're in there. So if we need a Hill Guard, for example, or maybe need a certain Grade 3, like we can grab another Fuyo if we need to as well to kind of start stacking things, or maybe an Administrant Angel. But yeah, it does a lot of things in this deck, which is really great. It also kind of helps work with certain combos as well, especially when we're trying to like set up like a double heal on top of our deck with Reverence Rush. So yeah, really strong Grade 2. Okay. So into our Grade 1s, we have 3 copies of Miko of the Mirror Moon Sei. So we won't worry about its first skill because we don't use it. So for a second skill, act on a Regal Circle once per turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, you can put one of your upper Grade 2 or less Regards into your Soul, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can pretty much rearrange those cards either on the top or bottom, whichever way you choose. So this is a way of keeping knowledge on the top of your deck so that you know what you're expecting to drive check or what you're expecting to draw, depending on the situation. So really good Grade 1. Next we do run 3 copies of Miko of Elegance Firmino. So she has 1 skill, so when she's placed on Vanguard Circle or Regard Circle, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reel up to 1 Grade 3 from among them and put them on top of the deck, and then shuffle the rest in the bottom of your deck, and then she gets plus 3 kick power. So the reason why I've opted to run her over the Grade 3 Searcher is because she allows us to stack a Grade 3 on top. She works well in tandem when we write her with our Grade 0, because again we can stack her and stack the Grade 3 on top and then use the start of the draw. Lastly, when we use her skill, when we stack a Grade 3, depending on what we shuffle from the level of the deck, especially if you haven't seen any triggers, it does give us a higher chance of seeing triggers, or it can also potentially give us a higher chance of seeing other important pieces that we may need. So for example, if we rode the Firmino first and then next turn we ride the Administrant Angel, we essentially go on through like 8 cards, so we potentially have a good chance of finding that missing piece, or finding the trigger that we need to set up defensively to get there. As again, since she stacks the cards on the bottom, like we know what's on the bottom, so we know like what we're not going to expect. So she's really good for that reason. Let's throw around the 3 copies of Firmino. Next we have 3 one-offs. So the first one is Honolly. So Honolly is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't really go into it. Next we do run 1 copy of the Cone Makers. This is a card charger deck. Now since we have a lot of ways of predicting and top cards of our decks like that, we always get her effect off. And her effect is when she's placed on our Vanguard or Regard Circle, declare a card name and read the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is the card you declared, you get the counter charge too. So again, as I said, because we have a lot of ways of knowing what's on top of our deck, we will always get the counter charge off. And it's very handy because the deck can be definitely very resource heavy with Soul and Counterblast. Candleblast can also be Candleblast being kind of the more used resource. So having a way to refound a Candleblast and then continue to combo off is really good. So that's why I run the one Cone Magus. And then lastly we run one Tetra Magus. So her skill is that when she's placed in a Regal Circle, if your Vanguard is greater or greater, Candleblast 1, draw 1, reveal up to 1 crit trigger from your hand and put it on top of your deck. So it's a great way of sending it crits depending on the situation when we need it, which is very handy. But also the fact that you can just on play Candleblast on draw 1 is very good, because again with certain combos as well, where we may have just stacked a card at the top of our deck, we may need to grab that card so we can use it for a combo, and Tetra Magus allows us to grab that, and then if we need to we can put it at the top. So it's very advantageous pretty much. So yeah, that is our grade 1 lineup. Only 9 grade 1s, but usually don't have an issue again because there's Strength Angel as well, and yeah. Okay, so we'll go for our starter. It's very shiny. Pretty self-explanatory. Next we have the Free Calico. So this card is the card I was referring to, which works very well in tandem with the Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu. What it does is that act on the Regal Circle if you're Oracle. You can put this unit into your soul and choose a card from your hand and discard it. Then you search up the 3 cards from your deck and reveal them. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from among them, puts them in the drop, and then you add the remaining card to your hand. So again, if you use her to reveal 3 Amaterasus, you're essentially giving your Vanguard plus 30k and plus 3 crit. But it's also obviously not used for that, because you can essentially use it to dig out cards from our deck to put in the drop, so that we can kind of start establishing our drop and start comboing off with our resources that we have in hand to, maybe start getting heals off, or maybe start solidifying our hand. Whatever's needed, Calico can help with facilitating that. So that's why we run the 3 Calicos. So yeah, really strong grade 0. Okay, then for triggers, so we run the full heals, 11 crits, and then the 1 red OT. So red OT because we want to. It works really well in tandem with our one of our strides, and being able to restand a Regal, especially if it gets a crit in it, is very scary. So we run red OT, and then for the crits, we try to run as max crits as possible, because we're trying to close up the game as fast as possible. But also when our deck is getting to kind of 10 card threshold, that's when our Popo is active, and we want to make sure we have as many crits as possible, so that when we're swinging with Popo, we're swinging lethal with Popo. So that's why we run 11 crits. But before the crits, these ones specifically, they have a reason for being here. So for these ones, they're in here because they allow us to continuously to recycle them into our deck. So again, when we get into a very low card threshold in our deck, being able to recycle our muffins, and then using cards like Strength Angel, pushing through, finding those crits, so when we drive check with our Ichikishima, essentially the kill stride, that we're stacking all those crits in Popo, trying to make her as lethal as possible, so that we just one-shot the opponent when they die. So that's why we run the 3 muffins. We run the 1 Psychic Bird, as this essentially acts as a draw for our During, as again, we need to have other ways of drawing cards as well, not just using Candleblast to draw cards. As again, we need to maximizing all our resources that we can, to draw cards. So that's why we run the 1 Psychic Bird. Alrighty, so into the strides, we have the 1 Hornet's Messiah, so that's very self-explanatory. 2 of the Soaring Beast Kirin, so again that was the first stride I was talking about with Susanoo. Okay, and then for our next stride we do run 1 copy of Sterling Witch Momo. So when she attacks, we Candleblast 1 and turn a card from you face up. discard up to 3 cards from your hand, and for each card discarded, 3 of your front row Regas have plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. And then if you discarded 3 cards at the end of our attack, you can stand it, and it gets stride -2. So Sterling Witch Momo, in combination with Calico finding 3 Amaterasus, makes our Momo swing essentially for, I think from what I remember, it is an 86,000 power Vanguard with 4 crits on it. And again, it swings twice. So if you use it early on, depending on the situation, or maybe mid-game, if maybe you're trying to push out the Sanctitude, this card can definitely help facilitate that. It's a very, very strong stride when you have the right setup for it. So that is why we run the one Sterling Witch Momo in the deck. Next, we do run 1 copy of the Happiness Gathering Dragon King. So act once per turn. You can turn a card from your face up. Reveal cards from your top of your deck equal to the number of your physical cards in your Z-zone, +2. And then you call all the normal units revealed, and then you activate the triggers revealed down to the hand, and then you shuffle your deck. So this card is really great with doing combos and setting up, revealing like triggers or other units during the main phase, so we can do our combos. So for example, when we like stacking cards of Reverence Rush, stuff like that, we can then use the stride to reveal those triggers, if we reveal triggers or those normal units, then combo those skills off outside of the battle phase, which is really good. So that's why he's a really strong stride, because again, it's kind of just like Sterling Witch Momo. If you have the right setup correctly, this stride can be extremely powerful. And that's the same kind of goes with every other stride in this deck pretty much. If you have the right setup of these strides can be very, very scary. So that's why we run the 1 copy of the Happiness Gathering Dragon King. Next, we do have the 2 copies of Lord of Guidance Bakirimo, because they're as a Persona stride. So what it does is you can get +1 and salt +1. If you are Oracle, you draw a card when it attacks, and then you choose a card from your hand and put it on the top of your deck. So the only time we go into the stride is if you have an OT in hand, because again, we can stack the OT and then drive check it. So it's the reason why we run Bakirime in this deck. And then lastly, for our strides, we run 4 copies of the Stillwater Festival Deity Ichikushima, which is 2 skills. So act on the Vanguard cycle once per turn, you can counter +1 and sell +1. Choose a face down card with the same card name as this card, music down to the face up, and draw 3 cards. So a nice little top of the hand, we need it. And then act on the Vanguard circle once per turn, GB3 Oracle, so you choose a face down card, music down to the face up. And then during this turn, your opponent cannot call G Guardians or grade 0s from hand to Guardian Circle. So, as we were talking about before with Brilliant Witch Popo, so Popo in combination with Ikushima has a very powerful guard restrict. The only way to essentially guard her, because of how big we're going to make her, is if the opponent has an Elementaria Sanctitude to guard Popo's attack. Yes, that's why Popo is very, very powerful in this deck when it's under the guard restrict of Ichikushima, and it is essentially our way of essentially closing the game. It's kind of like the win pawn of the deck. But you can sometimes just even go into her without having a Popo set up, because you can go first stride on the Karen, and then if you need to, you can just Ichi for your second stride, just to kind of restrict the opponent's hand, make them get rid of their kind of like key pieces, because again, so they can't use grade 0s and G-Guard, they're getting rid of their normal units, so it's very good as well, just so you can almost ensure that on your next Ichikushima turn, you go into your second stride turn, that you have a good chance of actually just blowing the opponent out of the water. Again, she's very strong in combination with Calico fighting for Amaterasus, because again, she would be 56 by herself with 4 crits. And again, since she can't use zeros or G guards, most of the time the opponent's probably going to have to bait up their Sanctitude to stop the Ichikishima because of how strong it is. So yeah, overall, Ichikishima is a very powerful stride, and it is the way that we close out our game, which is why I run the 4 copies. Okay, so for our G-Guards, we need to run 2 copies of Sign of Eternity Amaterasu. So when you just put in Guardian Circle, if the number of your cards in your hand is 4 or more, this unit gets plus 10k shield until the end of the battle. And then when this unit is placed in Guardian Circle, you can Soul Charge 1, and look at the top card of your deck, and put that card on top and bottom of your deck. So again, you know, if we're using stuff like Administrator Angel, even sort of the Goddess of Amaterasu, you know, to look at our deck. If we need to move those cards, for example, for any reason, or mainly for God of the Sun on Amaterasu, since she leaves a card on the top, Amaterasu can get rid of those cards if need be. But just overall, being a very fat shield, just a 25k shield, is very handy too. Okay, so next we do run 2 copies of Excite Battle Sister Bavarois. So her skill is that when she's placed on the Guardian Circle, you can counterblast 1. If you do, you draw a card, remove the top card of your deck, and if the revealed card is a grade 1 or greater, this one gets plus 5,000 shield until the end of the battle, and then you may put the revealed card in the deck. So again, this is another way to kind of move through our deck fairly fast, just so we always have that common knowledge from the top of our deck, so we can kind of control our defensive checks. And then lastly, we do have 1 copy of Octagon Magus. So its skill is that when it's placed in Guardian Circle, you can counterblast 1, choose 2 grades from 0 to 3, declare it, and reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is any of the declared grades, put that card into your hand. If you put a card into your hand, it gets plus 15k shield until the end of battle. This is our kind of biggest, fattest shield in the deck. The reason why we don't run it at 2 copies is because these G-Guards are very powerful. We don't really have to set our deck up anyway with these. With this one's a bit more of a setup card, as we'd either need to, you know, know the top of our deck through either some of the God of the Sun Amaterasu or Administrator Angel, or through one of our other G-Guards, you know, looking at our deck, or, you know, revealing the top of our deck, knowing what's there, so then we can correctly declare it with Octagon Magus. But yeah, that is the deck. Now, if you guys do have any questions, as I probably have skipped over a lot of things, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And if this video gets 10 likes, I will kind of do a bit of like some playtesting, show you how the deck functions, you know, how some of the combos work on the deck, just so you can have a bit more of a better knowledge of how to pilot the deck. But yeah, that's it for me. And if you guys enjoy, you know, make sure to leave a like, and while you're down there, why not subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when I upload another video, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.